All right, welcome to another episode of the MMA Fight Game Podcast. I am fired up to have this straight up 115-pound assassin who is also a PhD student right now, so she's way smarter than me. I welcome Janie McGlohon to the broadcast. Janie, stop me if I'm wrong. What's your current record? 6-1?
6-1. Yeah.
6-1. Okay. Yeah, because Tapology is a little different, so I got that a little screwed up. But she is actually defending her K4 title, her 115-pound strawweight title for the very first time this Saturday night, August 16th, 2025, in a massive card at the outdoor ice arena that is enclosed at the Buffalo Riverworks. Massive fight. She's fighting Janilssa Quezada, who in 115 pound again, strawweight, full rules Muay Thai. Janie, I truly appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Training camp was amazing this time around, so I'm really excited for this fight. Really excited.
Yeah, and I see in the background, this isn't a normal like apartment or gym setting. There's some medical stuff going on. Are you like at work or at school right now?
Yeah, I'm in the lab currently. I'm finishing up an experiment. I've switched from morning shift to night shift in preparation for this fight to get my sleep schedule in sync for, being on the top of the card. So
Okay. And then before we get into all the fight stuff, you're super smart.
I know a lot about a little.
So you're currently a PhD candidate for biochem, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
At the University of Buffalo.
yep, and then you got your bachelor's from Texas A&M, right?
Yes, in biology, that's correct.
Yep. And full disclosure, everybody watching, when Janie was making sure I was legit, she stalked me on LinkedIn. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll return the favor. And then I stalked her on LinkedIn and saw that she is super smart, PhD candidate, biochem. So when you graduate, what do you do with a biochem degree?
Yeah, so with a PhD, you can do two routes, academia and industry, and a lot of that looks a lot different. Industry is like working for big pharma. You can work for like Thermo Fisher, things like that. Or you can go and you can be a professor at a university. You can teach and do research, those kind of things. Or you can work for like the NIH, things like that. There's a lot
What do
of
you
different
what
routes.
do you want to do with it?
I love teaching, so I'm probably going to stay in academia. So I'll do a postdoc, which is a just postdoctoral position, and then eventually try to gain a faculty position at a university, most likely.
Okay. And
Yeah.
now the real question is now that you're obviously to be a champion, you got to defend your belt successfully. What
Yeah.
does all your peers at UB think of you being a combat sports athlete?
Um, I actually they probably think I'm a little crazy if we're being honest. It's funny, my boss my like thesis advisor came to my title fight and was like this the whole time, basically.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I love
But
it.
I really never take damage. I've taken more damage in sparring and playing soccer in high school than like I've never had a black eye from fighting, which is I think the funniest thing. Because you'd assume,
Yeah.
five
So
rounds, you'd get hit.
so I'm assuming the black guys come from like Josh Reichart or one of those guys, right?
Yeah, yeah, usually from a guy, but it's usually just a little shiner. But I mean, you got to learn to move your head off center line somehow.
I love it. Hey, now you train out of Buffalo United under K4 owner Keith Ferrant. He's a legendary coach. How did you end up 3 years ago finding those guys?
Yeah, it was really my fiance, he also trains and we both debuted together, which was great. He when we moved up in Buffalo for grad school, it was like 2020, so right when COVID hit, and gyms were the first things opening up, and he was actually the one who was calling gyms and looking at what, and Booma was the first one to respond to us back, and we just went and we loved it and we stayed. We didn't try any other gyms out just because it felt right.
Oh, nice. Now, is your fiance on the card this Saturday night at the Riverworks as well with you?
No, no, he is not, but he is hopefully on the September card in Portland, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think he has a matchup right now, so he'll be on that one. And hopefully, if everything's all said and good after this fight, I would like to be on that one as well.
That's a big card because Caden Ellis and DeAndre Porter are fighting for the 145-pound
Yeah.
Art of Combat title, which if you're a fan of MMA, those two boys can scrap.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. And if I'm watching from the crowd, it'd be sweet to watch. And
Heck
it's
yeah.
awesome because it's just Eric running it. So then Keith is actually gonna be able to corner us, which is a really cool experience. So I think it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because I helped book that Kate and Ellis match.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's good. So what got you into fighting?
Really, we just, we trained it together just kind of to get exercise, and then we liked it, and then we eventually got invited to like spar. And then once we started sparring, I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. This is fun. I kind of want to see what this would feel like in real life, like when the door closes, what happens?
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, you're from El Paso, Texas. Mom and dad are gonna be watching with friends and family on the pay-per-view link. What do they think of you being a combat sports athlete?
It's funny because I don't think they're really that surprised. I played a lot of aggressive sports growing up, and I had a lot of, aggression, and I'm very competitive. So I think this was like it made sense. They're probably not like they're like, please protect the head because you're in school and gone to so much schooling just to be safe about that. But other than that, like my dad, me and actually my fiance were talking to him. We saw them last weekend at a wedding, and my fiance asked my dad if he was ever nervous watching me fight because my mom gets nervous. He's like, nah, I know she'll be fine. So that was actually really cool to hear from my dad. It was sweet because he
So,
watched me play sports growing up, so he knows me as like a competitor.
what sports did you play growing up in high school and anything in college?
I played in high school. I did volleyball and soccer. I ran track and cross country, all varsity, and then I just saying. And
Just
then
varsity, no big deal.
in college, I had to focus on my studies. It was definitely a change from my high school to my college. It was
Yeah.
intense, but I did play like intramural soccer, intramural volleyball, and then I did a little bit of club soccer for a bit, but I couldn't stick with it because I couldn't get out of my exams because of the club sport. They wouldn't like let me take off time for that, so that sucked. But so I couldn't really play with the team. I just got to practice with them.
So I've seen women's soccer matches, so that's where the aggression comes from, right?
Yeah, the one concussion and black eye I had was from soccer. I got elbowed in the face going for a header.
Wow.
Yeah, that's most damage I've ever taken.
And then, you're fighting Janilssa Quesada out of New York City, currently 4-2. What's your expectations for Saturday night at the Buffalo Riverworks?
I think she's going to be a technical opponent. I think she's going to have good cardio. I think she's going to be strong. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's a really great matchup. I don't know too much what to expect. Like I don't know if she does a lot more kicks or like what her specialty is, but I'm assuming from her end, I'm going to box. So she's going to prepare for that.
Okay.
And
And
I do
then,
think my hands will be faster.
okay. So
Yeah.
thanks so much. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you may be the main event. Is that what I saw, or is that?
Yeah, I think so. It's not confirmed, but I think I'm going to be one of the top five for sure. Because I know that MMA fights have to go before, because Muay Thai fights, they allow them to use that Thai oil, and you can't have that on the floor when they're grappling.
Yeah. And let's go into that because we were talking offline. You've been to one UFC, Pena, Noon, two, right? Or yeah.
Yeah. Number
And
two, yeah.
yeah, number two. And then have you seen any other MMA fights or no?
Well, I've watched them, in the television, but never in person, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a true believer that the reason the UFC is as successful and MMA is as successful as it is, it's not because of us dudes, it's because of you women. You've been to a live event, you've seen the crowd. It's usually a
Yeah.
55-45 split, women to men. People think
Yeah.
I'm like batshit crazy. I go, the reason they're successful is because of you women.
Yeah.
And then going to your card, and I'm kind of like, we're kind of getting known for this, but we highlight the women. Besides you and Janilssa, you have like six other badasses with you.
Yeah.
You have
Sweet.
Isabella Filipazzo, who's Uber, and then you
Mhm.
have a rising Sophia Hayes, which is an
Mhm.
interesting dynamic matchup because they've been on a collision course. Then
Mhm.
you got the stalwart veteran in Carolyn Hode, who this is
Yeah.
probably her last Amy fight before she goes pro,
Super
fighting
sweet.
on a completely aggressive, hardworking Amanda Gans.
Yeah.
What does that mean to have that type of female talent and that many females on a card that you're potentially headlining?
I mean, I just think that speaks volume to like really the promotion in the region, just bringing the best of the best to compete. And I think that's awesome because for all of us to get better, we need to compete against the best. Because it's not fun just to compete against, like, you don't want to be a bully and just beat the crap out of someone. You want to level
Mhm.
up because when you win, you learn. When you lose, you also learn. So, like, I think it's awesome to just fight against the best. Like, my last three fights, I've technically been like the underdog. Even though I didn't think I was the underdog, I was technically the underdog from like some people's point of views. So, I think it's good that I'm getting with K4, I can fight the best, which is awesome.
Yeah, your fight against Alyssa Party when you won the championship. I didn't, full disclosure, I didn't know who you really were, but then
Yeah.
that was a fight that I was definitely interested in, and I watched it. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling her. So,
Yeah.
that's commendable for you. And I talked to a bunch of athletes on your card, and there's two promotions on the same night, right down the I-90
Hmm.
in Rochester and with us in
Yeah.
K4 fighting in Buffalo. There are like 40 badass fights.
Yeah.
How good does that make you feel that this area with Canada, New York, and the Northeast MMA scene, what does that feel that we can, collectively put 40 like really badass fights on together?
I think it means the region's training and we're trying to be the best. And, after that, maybe we extend and bring other people in from other regions and see if we are the best, really put that. But it's awesome because it's a good community. It's fun to train with everyone. And also, like, I've learned that at first, before fighting, I trained with like a lot of different gyms and did stuff. And then once you start fighting, you kind of do that less because you're like, you don't want to show them your skills of someone you might fight. And so that's always interesting too, bringing all these people to fight together, but then you can't really cross train, so that's also interesting too.
And I can full disclosure, that's a promoter and matchmaker's nightmare when
Yeah.
you see guys training together. You're like, oh, there goes that matchup, and that
Yeah.
and that and that won't work. So before I let you go, before we wrap this up, because I know you're in lab, and I think you want to get on to watch a little bit of Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah.
Hamzat Chimaeva's main training partner is fighting tonight, so he's going to be one to watch as well. I can tell you what his name is since you are going to watch. Hold on one second. Let's see. It is Basinger Sukarev is his name. He's fighting Mirza Tala. I
Cool.
think I probably butchered the shit out of those names, but whatever.
Yeah, you tried. So that's
Yeah,
all you can do.
E for effort. And also
Exactly.
before I have you give your shout outs and things, I'm truly sorry for ghosting you on Sunday. I had a schedule issue. Hey, I made a mistake
Yeah.
completely. Having two Janies on the card or how I wrote it because I was lazy. I apologize. I never
Yeah.
like ghosting people, but we're here now, so I appreciate you being flexible and rescheduling it for me.
I was doing the same thing as I am right now. So it was just a,
Yeah.
step out and then back to the experiment. So after this, I have a few more things to finish up and then I'll be heading home to
Can you
watch.
disclose what you're experimenting with right now?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll have a publication with it, but I'm really just quantifying two protein-protein interactions, and I look at how different substrates impact that. And specifically, I study vitamin D metabolism, but an alternative route in humans. And I study the structure function of the enzymes that activate vitamin D in our body. Because a lot of people don't realize the vitamin D we get from our sun and food isn't the active form of vitamin D. It has to be modified in our body to actually work. So
So if people want vitamin D in their body, what's the best way to get it?
go outside and stand in the sun for 10 minutes. You
Just
can't
10
get it from a
minutes?
window. They say at least 10 minutes, and it should be like a decently high UV ray. Like, I think, I don't know exactly. I'd have to check that before I say that. But also, if you want to actually get some real vitamin D, talk to your doctor, your MD doctor, not me.
Well, I know you're not. I know you're not. So I have a moonroof on my truck when I drive to Buffalo. If I have that open, will that constitute getting 10 minutes of vitamin D since I'm in Rochester?
I think so. I think you're probably good. I
All
know,
right.
like, through glass, you don't get that same vitamin D. So,
Yeah, well, I'll open up the sunroof. So I was just checking. And if not,
yeah.
I'm gonna come. No, I'm just kidding. But is there anybody that you want to thank, or any sponsors you want to plug before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so big thanks to Aero Building Corporation. They sponsored me for this fight, this training camp, helped me get privates, nutrition. I went to Buffalo Cryo for that. It's been great. Eat Right at Buffalo as well. I use them through with the sponsorship. And really just my family and friends for supporting me and my training partners for really pushing me as well as my coaches for getting me ready. This has been one of the best training camps. I'm building on every training camp and getting better and better. So you're definitely going to see a different version of me than the last fight, which is going to be it's gonna be an awesome fight to watch. It's gonna be electric. I have a great opponent. It's just I have so much respect for her in that gym, and it's gonna be a great one.
Yeah, I'm pumped. You're potentially headlining a massive card August 16th, 2025 at the legendary Buffalo Riverworks for K4 Fighting, Art of Combat, SuperNova. It's going to be a great night. There is a lot of potential star power that is going to be performing and competing out there as well. But Janie, I truly appreciate the time. Have a great night and just sit tight, okay?
Thanks.
All right.
You too.